Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles the Bandster, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and always see them. And today we got a show that's going to get some people in their feelings, but we just got to do it. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So what happened? I recently came across a sit down that took place on the channel, Come Talk to Me, Cam and Mace's show, and I guess it's a subdivision of that show featuring Mark Jackson. And in this episode, he had, it was Mark Jackson, his son, and of course they invited on Kenny Smith, who's also a New Yorker. And they were essentially talking basketball, talking about Kenny's career and all of that stuff. But then it got to the point where the conversation shifted towards the greatest players of all time. And they started to talk about, you know, LeBron and Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and all of that. And Mark Jackson's son was basically trying to make an argument for why he believes that LeBron James is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. And when it came time for Kenny Smith to essentially break down why he believes that Michael Jordan is in a totally different classroom by himself, I mean, he absolutely was surgical. He broke the debate down to its most basic form. And I was like, man, this is a masterful explanation as to why Jordan is the standard bearer when it comes to the NBA. But before we even get into what Kenny Smith had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. With only 4 months left until the end of the year, I look forward to creating special moments with family and friends by attending various theaters, shows, plays, and sporting events. And when it comes time for me to look for tickets, I absolutely love to use Game Time. Game Time is one of the most reliable marketplaces for last-minute tickets to the most popular events in sports, music, and theater in more than 60 cities across the United States and Canada. Game Time saves me money, time, and peace of mind, so I don't have to sort through thousands of tickets looking for the best prices or worry about whether or not if they're authentic or whether if I'm going to receive them on time. Game Time Picks, one of my favorite Game Time tools, analyzes thousands of tickets for all of your favorite events near your location and finds you the best possible deal so you don't have to. For example, I'm looking forward to this upcoming concert at Madison Square Garden of one of my favorite composers, Hans Zimmer. Here I can select the all-in price to see the total ticket price up front, no hidden fees. And now I can sort through the best possible deals I can find. I can choose the cheapest deals, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. And if you're like me and always make plans at the last minute, you can grab tickets up to 90 minutes after the event has started. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we'd like to do now is like to play some of the key highlights from what Kenny Smith had to say, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to his comments here.
I know the question I got to ask because you're the perfect guest.
Okay.
Playing at North Carolina with Michael Jordan.
In the same backcourt.
In the same backcourt. This is what the people want to know. It's not even me. I'm standing up for the people at this moment. Could Michael Jordan go left?
This is what I'm dealing with.
This is the hypocrisy of idiocy that is going on right now.
This is what the people want to see,
Could
man.
Michael Jordan go left?
You haven't heard we done with the 90s?
No, but listen what I'm saying.
Yeah. Help him.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
No, you serious.
You know what?
No, I'm not serious. I'm not serious.
You know
gotta
what that
explain
would be
it.
like? That's like saying, can Prince play the guitar?
That's a
Fair
great
enough.
word.
Like, yeah, he had people in the band that played it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then that's Michael Jordan, man. Like, Michael Jordan was the most complete basketball player that's ever lived. Complete. Like, Kareem was just as effective. Certain people could be, LeBron at times could be just as effective. But the most complete basketball player that ever lived is Michael Jordan. Completeness.
Preach.
So, like, his ability to do every aspect of basketball at the highest level. And I think that came from going to college. Because in college, the best
I'm glad you're talking. I said that when he got to the pros, he had no weaknesses.
He had no weaknesses. Because what happens is, what college does, the best coaches are in college basketball. Because there's more. The best ones are there. So they design defenses and offenses that are different from the NBA. So you learn how to play against a zone defense. You learn how to play against a man-to-man, 1-3-1, 2-1-2. You know different defenses. NBA is just strict man-to-man. But your philosophies and thought process is from a totality of all of those defenses. Yeah. So now the game is easier for you, and you're much more easier. What I always say about Michael, what's different between even the great Kobe Bryant and great LeBron James is he was still the most fundamental basketball player. Like, LeBron's IQ is crazy, but the most fundamental, when you watch LeBron, you don't always say he's most fundamental. Yeah. So, correct hand in the passing lane. But that was Michael. He was the best athlete and the most fundamental because he went to college for 3 years and developed certain things. You know, Michael Jordan, those 3 years in college, imagine he only went 1 year. Oh my God. Or none. Michael Jordan, most complete basketball player. Y'all average dudes would have been average. Y'all would have been average. You wouldn't have been great. You would not have been. You're a specialist. You might not have been in the league.
There are people that believe, as crazy as it sounds, I've heard this and I'm sure you've heard it, that there's a dude in prison or a dude in the streets that was better than Michael Jordan, just didn't get an opportunity. There's people that believe that.
Listen, man. That's like saying there's a dude in prison that could have done what Steve Jobs done.
It's not my opinion.
I didn't say you. I said
Michael Jordan.
You heard that argument.
I've heard that before.
He's the Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs of basketball. Yeah. Is there a guy? If he's there, I hope he gets out. There's no one like that. He is the most complete basketball player. And then there's two. There's two. Yeah. Most effective, like LeBron James is effective. He can impact the game. You know that, but I just don't think defensively is where, that's the separation to me, is where defensively, we used to run, I don't know if y'all did this, we used to run plays, right? We go, okay, our coach, Rudy T, be writing on the board, he's like, okay, we're going to run 5. But if Michael's on the right side, we're going to run it on the left. It's like, all right, say it one time, right? You think it's a joke. So I'm like, in my mind, I know Michael as Mike, so I'm still listening as he's still my boy, kind of. And he goes, okay, and we're going to run 21, but if Michael's on the left side, we're going to run, and he'd go down each play and say where Michael was, and we're going to run it on a different side. That's the impact defensively had. Did they do that? I don't know.
Absolutely.
That's the part that even when I talk to coaches, they don't say that he has that impact. LeBron has the same effect on the offensive end that Michael has because it's passing, rebounding. But on the defensive end, that's the caveat that separates it.
So you heard what Kenny Smith had to say, right? He brought up some good points, and he was talking about the most fundamentally sound player of all time. And actually, before producing this show, we put up some polls on our channel to get a sense of what the audience feels about the most skilled players and the most fundamentally sound players. So the first poll we put up about 6 hours ago has about 5,000 voters this far. If you haven't voted, please make sure you go ahead and do it. The question was, who's the most complete player on this list? 3 players: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe. Oh, and by the way, this is actually the first time I'm sitting down looking at these results, and I think it's fantastic. Because people like to make it seem like, oh, I'm the one that changes the polls and DREAMERSPRO puts up these pro Kobe Bryant polls. Well, there's a poll here. Who's the most complete player on this list? Out of the 5,100 voters, 69% voted for Michael Jordan, 18% voted for LeBron James, 13% voted for Kobe Bryant. How did that work? Did I go out there and make? No. These were people voted. And I'm not going to sit up here and start crying all over the comments for it. That's the first poll. If you have an opinion, please make sure you go leave a vote and leave a comment below. The poll we put out right after that was, who's the most fundamentally sound player on this list? The same 3 players: Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. 70% voted for Jordan, 8% voted for LeBron James, 22% voted for Kobe Bryant. That's what the audience think. Now, what is the overall message with all of this? The overall message is people agree with Kenny that Michael Jordan is the most complete and fundamentally sound player to ever live. Look, he brought up a point that I'd never considered, which was how teams would game plan for Jordan because of his defensive prowess. I never thought, how would I know that? Because I never game planned for Michael Jordan, right? But he was basically saying that coaches would basically modify where they run their offense on the floor based on what side Jordan was playing on. I was like, what? Bro, do you know how much of a threat you have to be on the basketball court for coaches to do that? So he's a serious threat on the defensive side of the floor. And then you factor in the fact that he's the best player offensively. How is that not the greatest player of all time? Like, how is he not? And some people like, I forgot the guy's name, one of these LeBron guys that basically said, oh, Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year award was fraudulent because of the steals, forgetting that there are other players that have averaged a lot of steals per game, so it's not just steals per game. There, they were just talking about Jordan's ability to play the passing lane and the threat of what he could do. Jordan was an excellent defender at all three levels, playing the passing lane, playing the ball on the ball, playing off the ball, at all three levels. There are other players that are good. Kobe wasn't as good as playing in the passing lanes as MJ was. He wasn't. Kobe was good. Really, Kobe excelled with his on-ball defense and his help defense as well. You can throw that in there as well, right? But really, that's where Kobe shined. If you look at a guy like LeBron, he shined with his off-ball defense, his help defense, and playing in the passing lanes. But in terms of on the ball, guarding the ball, and guarding multiple defenders, it's not even up for discussion. The guy made 12 all-first defensive team. No, excuse me. No. He made 12 all-defensive team, 9 all-first. 9. It's crazy. Tied for the most defensive selection, all defensive team selections in the history of the NBA for guards. I think him and Gary Payton. Kobe made more defensive teams than Jordan. And Kenny Smith seems to be including defense as part of the equation. Look, I never thought this thing was a debate, ever. You can even hear Mark Jackson's son say, if it comes to one game, then I'll take Jordan. And he goes, well, then why don't you take Jordan as a GOAT thing? He was like, oh, but that diminishes LeBron in terms of the longevity and all of that. He goes, when you look at a 10-year window, Jordan is the best. They're like, no, but 10 years is not enough. Let's look at 20. They're like, bro, you can have it. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about the points that Kenny Smith brought forward? What do you think about today's analysis? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.